Hi, I'm Ali from Sydney Advanced Physio, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about buying footwear for children for optimal foot development. So when you buy a shoe, it's important to get the correct size. If you have a thumb width of space in front of the big toe or the longest toe, then as the shoe bends up when you walk, the toe is able to not mash against the end of the shoe. So it's actually really important just for a normal shoe, not just for growth of the actual foot or allowing for space. So you actually need to have that for a normal functional foot, regardless of whether you're growing or not. So a thumb width of space, obviously my thumb is going to be bigger than a child's foot this big, so it's their thumb, not your thumb. Okay, so if it's your thumb, then you're allowing for a space for a child's foot to grow, whereas if it's their thumb, obviously that's just what they should have anyway. So make sure that when you're fitting a shoe, you need to have at least a finger at the back and a thumb at the front. So another common mistake people make is that they put their heel, or they kick their heel to the back of the shoe when they are checking the front. And so as you walk, you're going to slide forward on the shoe anyway, so you're going to end up in a shoe that's too small. So don't kick your heel to the back of the shoe and then check this, because you need to have both spaces. With school shoes, you generally want them to last about a year, but in some cases you're not going to be able to achieve that, because if they have a growth spurt and their feet grow and they're cramming their feet in, it will slowly stiffen up the foot. And we're seeing a lot more children coming through the practice that have got really stiff feet, and that can have long-term effects on a child's development, and it can increase back pain, neck pain, you name it, in a growing, developing body, and give disastrous long-term effects. So make sure you're checking your child's footwear and shoe length periodically, and just making sure that they're not actually doing the laces up or the fastenings up too tight, which is going to create a stiffening effect of the foot. They do need to stay on the foot. They don't want to be flopping around, because you can end up with ankle sprain injuries, but they do need to stay fastened to the foot. So you can see this shoe is just a standard good old Australian shoe, Clark's, great shoe. But the problem with the shoe is that you can see that the heel is actually higher than the forefoot. So the whole body tilts forwards throughout the whole day. And so you can actually load up the front of the foot too much, so the weight's not actually shifting, which can give you, longer term pelvis, neck, shoulder slumping. So a heel on a child is not necessarily developmentally a good thing, because you're changing the function or the biomechanics of the body. So if you can find a shoe that is small in the heel or level through, so that there's no massive heel raise, because you wouldn't want your kid walking around in high heels, but you don't realize you're already doing it. Same goes for running shoes. They're often thicker at the heel, smaller at the toe, and it just tilts the whole body all the way up through the body. The other thing is the mobility of the shoe. So you want a shoe to not create forces that are stopping your foot from actually moving on the ground. There's 33 joints in your foot, and you need them to move, and often the foot won't move in a shoe with a thick heel. So the shoe needs to be as light and flexible as they can be without a heel. And the other thing is the heel. If your child's got a small heel and the heel is sticking out quite a lot further than what your child's heel actually sits, then what actually happens is it forces your foot into a pronatory position really quickly, and so that's actually not necessarily a good thing for a shoe. So as I say, less of a heel, it needs to fit your child's foot properly, and as flexible and light as possible. If a shoe is too stiff, it stops a child from walking properly, and it also stops the development of the foot in a proper way. If you have any questions, check out our website or give us a call on the number below.